Some of you are thinking about buying a house and you realize that there's little teeny bits of inventory out there. There's not everything that you want. There's not the perfect house that you were thinking is out there and available. Well, there's plenty of ways to think outside of the box and come up with some creative ways to find that perfect home or turn your kind of perfect home into a dream home. And that's what we're talking about right now. Let's get started. Hi y'all, I'm Debbie Dobbins, real estate entrepreneur here in Wichita Falls, Texas, and we talk about all things Wichita Falls lifestyle, real estate, and all things in between. So if you'd like to know more about Wichita Falls or any of those topics, subscribe to our channel below. Don't forget to ring that bell so you'll be notified every Monday when we upload a new video. So we're getting started talking about all those things you want to do when you buy a house. Oh my goodness, there's so many things you need to know when you buy a house. And most people just think you walk into a house, you see the house, you love the house, you buy the house. And yeah, that happens. But right now we have this shortage of inventory that's crazy. So let's look at some of the ways that you can begin to think outside of the box when it comes to buying real estate. So I just met with a buyer and we were trying to decide whether or not they wanted to make an offer on a home. And you know, it's not as easy as just walking into a house and saying, oh my gosh, I love this house and please let me buy it. Because there's a lot of layers that go into actually purchasing a home. And all of that aside, all of the ins and outs and the nuts and bolts of it, you have to make a decision if it's the best buy for you. And there's so many actual components. So for instance, in this particular house, it wasn't a fixer per se, but it was very outdated. And it had some components that they really wanted, one of them being a big shop in the back. And you take all of those things into consideration of all the properties that are in the neighborhood and what they're selling for, does it end up being a better value? And so I use this example because I think that it's a really good example of you can buy a house that's basically a fixer, somebody that just got out of bed. Or you can buy a house that someone's put a little lipstick on before they went outside, which is usually what I do. I just put a little lipstick on. Or you can buy a house that someone's put full makeup and hair on and they're ready to go to the Academy Awards. And each one of those levels has a different value attached to it. They could all be in the exact same neighborhood, and say the neighborhood generally sells for, let's just use a round number, $100 a square foot. And the one that just got out of bed probably should sell about 65 or 70. The one that has a little lipstick on it maybe sells for $100 a square foot or 105. And the one that's going to the Academy Awards might sell for $120 a square foot. The thing is that you have to make a determination about what it is that you want, first of all, before you even start looking for a house. And then as you begin to look at houses, your ideas will change and morph and turn into something completely different most of the time when you start seeing what's out there and available. So for instance, a shop might be worth $20,000 on the open market. And you might be looking for a house that has a shop, but maybe you find the perfect house and it doesn't have a shop. Well, how much does a shop cost? Can you just put a new shop in for $20,000? Can you add that onto the purchase price? We'll talk about that in a loan video a little bit later. What is it that you want? Do you absolutely want a pool and there's no homes with pools in them in the inventory on the market right now, or it's really super hard to find it? There's so many different layers that go into purchasing a home and what you want and what you don't want. And in this market where the inventory is really, really tight, you might want to begin to think outside of that box and what you can create with the houses that are actually available. And the one way to do that is to have an amazing realtor who can begin to brainstorm these ideas, to mind map these ideas, to come up with more creative solutions than just a linear, let's go look at a house and buy a house. So if you want more information, please download my guide, Buying a Home with Low Inventory. And you will get so many different ideas than you can possibly imagine. And just for now, Stay tuned to our YouTube channel. Subscribe if you want to know more about Wichita Falls. Press the button below. And that's all for this episode of Your Wichita Falls. Y'all come back now, you hear?